Yo, welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back again. NFL season's finally done, so
It's over.
we're kind of fully switching, not fully, but mostly switching over to the NBA.
Yeah, we'll still have some NFL content coming out periodically. We'll have an episode out shortly, recovering this or recapping the Super Bowl, all those storylines.
I think we should all talk about like a couple free agents.
Yeah,
where each team should go.
We'll get there once free agency starts to heat up. I mean, there's a lot of off-season coverage, kind of like we did for the NBA over the summer. Like, we'll still talk about it, but NBA, we're about to take our All-Star break.
We're about to hit the All-Star break.
And then after that, it's pedal to the metal, baby.
Yeah, I think there's about like 27, 28 games left.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking about games, you bought NBA 2K. And you got free league pass, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they actually, this is funny as hell.
Oh boy.
They actually give out free league pass today. For
Today?
the rest of the year.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you just voted on what shoes you thought Jason Tatum should wear at the All-Star game. They gave you a year, not a season, a year of NBA league pass.
Huh.
So I mean, you could do that on a different one and then get a year. But
True. I don't know if it'll roll over though.
I don't know if it'll roll over. Maybe, yeah, it probably won't roll over. But
I mean, I'm sure there'll be another promotion next
you
year.
would get more off. So
Yeah, I mean,
more
probably.
months. So
I might have to take a look into that.
But I just did it. I just got NBA League Pass so I can fully like lock in.
Yeah, because
instead of stream Easting games. So
yeah, I mean, this is like the first year I've actually had like League Pass. I mean, I've had it a year in the past before because it was a discounted price after the All-Star break. It was like $1 or something. So like, yeah, because I just wanted to stop stream Easting all the Sixers games.
I would stream.
But that was the thing. I didn't really, when I got it originally, I didn't really watch anything outside of the Sixers games. But I feel like this year, at least more, I'm starting to watch more and more. So I thought it was a good investment, but because you're essentially buying a whole game, 160 gigabyte game, which by the way is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
But you're buying 160
gigabyte,
for a 160 gigabyte game, and you're paying less money, and you're getting a year of free league pass, and you're paying less money for that just buying a year of league pass. I don't honestly, who pays for that? Because they do so many promotionals where you can get it for free for spending less money, and you get something else too. I
think I'm gonna spend like actual money on the MLB pass because like I watch MLB a lot and I guess I work it as well, so it'll be fun. But also gotta sweat bets too. Sweating bets is the best. Sweating bets MLB is actually the best thing.
Well, yeah. Well, you're also a Braves fan, and Bally just got bought out by Amazon.
Yeah.
And I also read an article that because Amazon's carrying over a lot of like the rights to stream those games that Bally had. Braves aren't one of them. So how are Braves fans going to be able to watch those games this upcoming season if you don't live in Atlanta?
Well, I think it will still be.
Yeah, I think they're doing it on local broadcast. I think that's it though.
Yeah. Well, the League Pass gives you everything but your local. Okay. Yeah, your local thing.
All right.
Does it not do that with the NBA League Pass?
I don't know. I've never purchased MLB League Pass.
NBA League Pass.
No one in my family has either, so I don't really know that much about it.
I couldn't watch Hawks games.
Yeah.
Because it was local.
I feel like that's probably a thing. Because I mean, I don't have that issue because I don't live locally to any NBA teams, which is why it's beneficial to me. Because without it, I'm not really there's no, besides like ESPN games, there's like not usually NBA games on every night.
It takes like the closest from your zip code, it takes the closest one to your 2, and then it blocks that one. So one time when I was in Cali and I was watching MLB, I couldn't watch Dodgers games because I was in California, but I can watch Braves games now, right? Because I'm in California. And then another time when I was in North Carolina, I couldn't watch Nationals games because I was close to the Nationals. And then when I was in South Georgia, I couldn't watch Tampa Bay games because I was closest.
Okay.
So it just takes wherever you are and just takes the closest one because that's localized television and just cuts it.
Damn.
So
that's unfortunate.
It was awesome when I was in South Georgia because I just watched Braves games and it was like, thank God I can finally watch them like that.
Well, I would assume if a Braves game is being played and you live in Atlanta, there's some local broadcasters playing that game.
That's why you can't watch it because the local broadcast has it, so they want you to tune into the local broadcast.
So would you say that not having the local broadcast is a hindrance to you, or do you just not care?
I mean, if there's, I wonder what the streaming is going to be with new Amazon now. Because if it's going to be like, I think on like Prime.
Well, that's the thing, because like I know the Diamondbacks are one team, the Coyotes are another team that Amazon is going to stream, and yeah, if you just have Amazon Prime, you can turn it on and watch it. But yeah, but for the teams that aren't covered, I think they're just giving it back to local rights. But I'm sure someone or something's gonna swoop in and try to get something off of that, because baseball's a big sport. It gets a lot of watch. I know the regular season numbers might not be as high because there's so many games. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I've never really met anyone that's watched every single their team's game in a season.
For MLB?
Yeah.
Well, I have, because I worked with some MLB people, so like they literally go to every single game.
Well, yeah, I get
so
that.
Makes sense. Yeah,
I
get
that.
I haven't been like a casual fan.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of Braves games though, but I didn't. I would say if a lot for me was like half, and half is a lot, because sometimes when I was watching those Braves games, I would like be doing something else while I was watching it, because like commercials and all that stuff, and it's 162 games.
Well, yeah, kind of getting back, like, let's get back to the NBA, but like if I'm watching the NBA, like a Sixers fan, like I'm still like, I consider myself to be a big basketball NBA fan.
Yep, so am
I still don't watch every Sixers game. That's a lot, and MLB is even more than that.
Yeah.
But I guess that's why everyone likes football so much.
Well, yeah, it's because it's only 17 plus how many games you have in the playoffs, right? So you're gonna have max 22 games, maybe 23 games, 22, I think.
Some teams don't need to worry about that, but
21, because if you get wild card and divisional conference, it's 21. It's max.
Okay.
And then you have preseason if you want to watch preseason. Yes, I know people that watch preseason. Yeah.
I watch preseason sometimes.
I'll watch it sometimes too, because I'll watch like the first quarter, because that's when like the actual like starters are out there.
Or I'll watch it after
there's like an actual decent storyline.
The only time I'll ever watch the preseason is when like there's like a big like player coming in, like when Jalen Hurts, when he was first announced as the starter after trading Wentz. I watched his preseason because I wanted to see how he looked and all that, and like
that's what I'm saying.
And and then when I watched not this season's, but I watched last season's preseason, because that was the year we made a lot of off-season trades. Like the team was apparently good. I wanted to see people like want to watch it to see how the team looks, but yeah, I don't know anyone that like just watches it like a casual game, except for people that put money on it, and I live with one of those people, so I know how that works.
One of those people. I lost actually money to one of those people. So when I put money on the Ravens and the Commanders, snapped the Ravens,
snap
like
the streak,
22 I put money on the Ravens, bro. I was like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's get back to basketball. Last episode we had, the NBA, was before the trade deadline. It's happened. We've got some new squads in the association. So tell me, Brooks, which trade do you think personally is the most impactful to the league as a whole?
Impactful. Okay, so I would say, I don't know if I'm gonna go.
And before you answer this, it does not have to be a deadline trade. You can reference a previous trade.
Okay.
But I do think some of those we can. If you want to talk about just the deadline, you can.
I'll talk about the deadline. I think the Knicks won the deadline. The Knicks made some really good moves, held on to some decent pieces as well. Getting Bogdanovich I think is a good trade, right? So good deal for them. They got OG, not from the deadline day, but in a trade as well. And they really, in my opinion, stacked their team up. And they gave away pieces that, like, I don't want to say mattered too much to them. So I really got to give props to the Knicks. And I think they're sitting at the 4 seed right now. I know the Bucks, Cavs, and Celtics are above them. And I think the Sixers are now back at the 5 because of Embiid's injury, which sucks. But I gotta give my deadline day winner to the the Knicks. My fault.
Deadline day winner. Yeah, I like the Knicks pick too. I'm trying to think. Is now that I bring up the trade deadline, most of those deadline deals are starting to blink from my mind.
I'll pull the Bojan deal.
I like that one.
Yeah, the Bogdanovich deal was actually big.
Yeah, I thought that was a big move.
Let me see if I can find the trade. The exact details, but I know they also got they gave away some decent pieces. They got Alec Burks as well, which is a good veteran name to have. And they gave up not that many pieces for it. I can't even pull up ESPN's. Not even there. We go. All right, Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic to the Knicks, and they gave up Evan Fournier, right? I think the only person they get with value is Quentin Grimes, who had some value but was kind of diminishing.
Yeah.
Malachi Flynn, Ryan Arcidiacono, and 2 second-round picks.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that's a great deal.
I do too. It's a move that immediately bolsters your roster.
That's what it is because he's old.
In a competitive league or in a competitive conference. So yeah, you can't hate that move at all. You're trading developmental players, working projects for win now talent. So can't be mad at that as a Knicks fan because your window seems to be open. So you gotta push it. I really liked the Gordon Hayward trade for the Thunder. Because everyone was saying they need to make some sort of move. They're sitting on all these draft picks, do something. Like it's a top team in the West, and they have all these draft picks. Like, could you imagine if they approached? Like, I saw some people online saying, like, imagine if they approached the Suns and said, give me one of your stars, and I'll give you 6 first rounders. Yeah. Just something stupid like that. But that immediately makes that team better. Probably puts them the championship favorites if they got any one of those players. But but I like the Gordon Hayward trade. Didn't give up that much, and in return you get an old veteran who's used to playing around younger guys, be that mentor person, and he still gives you value on the court as well. He can give you good minutes, so I definitely like that trade for them because we all see those jokes with Charlotte Hornets, someone saying they need a veteran on that squad to show those boys how to act.
They got some veterans. They're undefeated since the deadline.
That is true.
They're 3-0. They just knocked off my Hawks, which that's impressive. But
we will get to that in a second. But I do like I think the Gordon Hayward trade can be somewhat of that mentorship to those young guys, and as obviously if their track continues, they'll be a top seed in the West. So having that mentorship to make a deep playoff run this early into their, I don't want to say dynasty, but they're kind of
this early into their young players' careers, right?
Into this core, this core of players.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. But I just couldn't think of a better word.
That is true. I do like how they got Trey Mann back though. The Hornets, because everyone has been seeing the value of Trey Mann, and 2 picks, and they also traded away PJ Washington for a first rounder, and they got Seth Curry and Grant Williams. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna stay on that team for the rest of the year and then probably get shipped again for something, but.
I mean, there's just some.
I like how they got a first rounder.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's good. And then those are at least Seth Curry. I don't know how long Grant Williams has been in the league, but like we said, some veteran guys. You might not be the guy you're looking for, but
I think Grant Williams has been in the league for that long.
I don't think he is either. So mainly Steph Curry or Seth Curry, but you've got a guy that's been in the league for a while, knows how things work. A guy that can be that mentor role to all those young guys. So. Yeah, I like that moves for them. My Sixers made a bunch of moves. Yeah, actually.
You probably will bring up they're a loser, maybe.
It's probably obviously but
secret.
They probably don't know. My initial reaction to trade day was not a happy one, was most of the fan base.
But
they started out well, though. We'll do a little mini recap. Around 12 o'clock, I remember I was sitting in the library. I got the notification. Traded away a first rounder and 2 role players for Buddy Hield, the guy that's been linked to trade talks for the past couple of years. An excellent 3-point shooter, a great ball handler. Just someone that can kind of come in at the guard and possibly wing if needed, and could just give you quality offense. Everyone loved it. Everyone was happy. Everyone was like, "Oh, just wait till Embiid's back, right?"
Yep.
Well, then Daryl Morey started to make a bunch of other trades. First, he got rid of Daniel House for cash compensation, which I wasn't in love with, but I didn't hate it because there were reports that he wanted to go after the buyout and get some guys from there, which he did. But then I think it was the Patrick Beverley trade, which at the time had a lot of people upset because I also want to say this because I didn't talk about it, but I think for the Bucks, that's also good trade.
Yeah.
Because their defensive struggles have been
their guard play at defense.
it has been bad ever since losing Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
And I think bringing in Patrick Beverley might be the best way you could have replaced it this late to the season.
Yep.
Because I mean, he's already had an impact. You can see that their perimeter defense is at least better than what it was. Part of that could be the insertion of Doc Rivers. He's a good defensive mind in some ways, so you could put two and two together. And I'm sure everyone's seen that one clip of Patrick Beverley coaching up the huddle while Doc Rivers like clapping or something, saying Bucks traded for a player and a coach.
Yeah.
But I think both of those coming at the same time really helped the Bucks. And we all sitting back here a couple weeks ago, like wondering why they fired their coach and doing all this, but 2 moves later, they look pretty good with it. So you can't hate them for that. Which is why I was personally upset. I was more upset instead of just losing Patrick Beverley, because obviously he was good for us, but I think I was more upset for Daryl Morey just kind of giving him away to a a team in our conference that we're gonna have to go up against, basically just making them better. So obviously I don't like that. And I was not sold on Campaign at first, but after a few games
I told you, man.
I don't.
The campaign has a campaign, bro.
I don't want to say he's been amazing, because the past couple nights have not been that great, but his first few games were pretty good, so can't hate him for that. And then there was he made another trade. He got rid of like Furkan Korkmaz and someone else. Or I think that was in the first trade, but he got rid of, I know, Jaden Springer. A lot of people were upset about that because he just gave him to the Celtics for like a second-round pick. And that's a guy that we kind of drafted like 3 years ago, been kind of like developing. And this season, especially he was starting to prove to be a good player, and we just got rid of him. So I'm still not happy about that one. I'm a little bit more lenient on the Patrick Beverley trade because it's fine, I guess, but I'm still not happy about that one.
Springer has a lot left in the tank because he's young. So.
Yeah, and especially with an injury-filled roster like ours at a time like that, because we got guys like Ricky Council the fourth.
Yes,
like
sir.
I had no idea who that was before I saw him play, and he's not terrible, but I still hate that trade. But I think we can. Do you have anything else to add from the trades?
Not from the Sixers, but do you have a deadline day loser?
Loser.
Who's a
I like
loser
to
on the
say.
deadline day?
I
have a loser.
Are you gonna say the Lakers?
I'm not gonna say the Lakers.
Are you gonna say the Hawks?
I'm not gonna say the Hawks.
Okay. I would say the Lakers are a loser.
Okay.
Mainly because
They
that
didn't add
team's.
anyone?
Well, it's just I think there's two ways to look at it, right? Because the last 3 or 4 deadlines, they've just been super
Rumor mill. Yep.
Or just been super active. They always make a bunch of moves, and a couple years ago it kind of worked. They started the season a couple years ago it didn't work. They started the season pretty well, and then the trade deadline, some players started to fall off, underperform. People started to worry, and they said, all right, let's fix this. You're gone. They made some trades. Team got worse. They went to the playoffs, didn't do that much. Then they made the offseason changes, brought in Russell Westbrook. That team wasn't that good at the start. They made some changes. It got somewhat better, but it wasn't all that. Then last season, they started really bad. We remember 2-10, and everyone was hitting the panic button. Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs. And then they made a ton of trades at the deadline, Western Conference not champs, but they made it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yep.
So
losing to the eventual champions.
Yep. So the argument can be made whether or not it's smart to be super active or not at the deadline. As we've seen, the Chicago Bulls have not been active at the deadline for the past 3 years, and they've been stuck in mediocrity ever since.
Yep.
So I don't hate the idea of like always making trades at the deadline, but I think the Lakers this was their attempt to kind of learn from the past. Like, yeah, last season's deadline kind of worked out for us, but kind of look at the past couple ones. We always just seem to make our team just worse. And as inconsistent as the Lakers have been this year, they're still in somewhat contention. So
yeah, they are.
I think they're just
play in right now.
Yeah, so I think the mindset behind it all is they're just going to let these guys keep just trying to figure it out. because I think that's what they do. They just blow everything up, bring in new guys, and they have to relearn everything halfway through the season. They kind of fall behind. So I think they're just going to let this squad rock it out, which I know a lot of fans aren't happy about, but
No.
we'll just have to wait and see how the results turn out before we can judge that decision. And like I said, the Hawks, I think you trading DeJounte Murray was probably a pivotal thing at this trade deadline, given that him and Trae Young don't work and how much money he makes. But if you traded him to the Lakers for like a first round pick and like whoever it was,
D'Lo.
Yeah,
D'Lo.
D'Lo.
We didn't rate D'Lo. That's why it was the biggest.
Right. That's why it didn't happen. I still would have thought that would have.
I agree that we don't rate D'Lo, of course.
Yeah, no. I think if you made that trade, that would have been a L for the Hawks. But I think they could have tried at least a little more to get rid of Murray.
I think we could have got value out of him, but
I think he could have as well.
Trae Young's on the rumor mill now.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah, Trae Young. It seems like the GMs want to keep DeJounte and move off Trae.
But I think my biggest loser has to be the Chicago Bulls.
That was my biggest loser
because they got Zach LaVine out for the season. Yep. Obviously, no one's gonna break the bank for him this season because he's not playing. So
yeah, obviously.
I forget. Is he a contract year or is he just?
I think he's got.
He's just making a lot of money.
Making a lot of money.
Because I know DeRozan is on a contract.
DeRozan's on a contract year,
and he
should have been moved last year. He was the Lakers, right? The Lakers wanted him last year. He should have been moved last year when he had some value, but now he's on a contract year. You don't deal him, right? He's off, right? You should have dealt Alex Caruso, who I think has 2 years left on it, including the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So next year's a contract year where he's definitely not going to re-sign with the Bulls unless they throw him, overpay him, right? Or a bag, right? He's one of the in a league that's been high scoring. He's one of the best defensive players, like an assets off the bench as well. Yeah. Get the value off him, right? There's so many people that you could have moved and got value. And I don't think they have made a trade in 3 years.
No, they haven't.
They haven't made a trade in 3 years. It's horrible.
And everyone forgets Vucevic is just sitting there.
Yeah, he's doing
nothing.
And Vucevic commented after, he's like, I'm happy that we kept it. We can easily make a... No, you can't.
No.
I mean, you're saying that because you're a player and you want to be confident, but everyone knows that's just bullshit.
But what's crazy is they've had this core of players for the past 3 years, right?
That's what I'm saying.
And on paper, that team's good enough to be competitive, but they never are. So
they had 2 years ago, I think it was. They were the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I do remember this
for a good while,
for like a couple of weeks.
But then the record against winning teams was like
bad,
2-15.
Yeah,
and then it just caught up to them, and then I think they became a play-in team.
They did drop to the play-in, and then they lost.
Yeah,
they lost to the Cavs.
Yeah,
I remember that. But yeah. But to me, when you look at that team,
and Lonzo Ball was healthy. That was a big thing. Lonzo was healthy.
That was true, but we have no idea what's going on with him. And if you're the Bulls organization, yeah, it sucks.
Hopefully he'll be back next year.
Yeah, and they keep saying like, oh, like he's part of this core, like it's the missing piece, but
your core is running out of age as well.
Zach LaVine, I don't know how old he is, but I know he's been in the league since at least 2006, so we're coming up on almost a decade. DeMar DeRozan, I quite honestly don't know how he's still in the league. I would not be surprised if he straight up just retired this offseason.
I don't think he'll retire.
I don't think he would, but I would not be surprised if he did.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a 1 to 2 year deal.
Yeah.
Like he's coming down to his
Nikola Vucevic, to me at least, I don't know about you or the rest of people.
Yeah, the rest of the fans too.
But to me, he was seen at least as a top center in the NBA, at least top 10.
When?
A couple of years ago, probably when the Bulls traded for him. Yeah, and I want to say even a year or two after that as well, because every time I watched him play against other like good centers, he would have a game.
I think he would have rebounding issues.
He wasn't a great rebounder, but he was good scoring in the post.
Yeah,
he could stretch. He could stretch the floor as well.
Stretching the floor, that's correct.
He was not a bad defender. I mean, in the Eastern Conference, when you're going up against, I mean, obviously it wasn't as it is today, but like a Kristaps Porzingis, a Giannis, and Embiid, if you're making a finals run, maybe a Jokic, like that's not a bad defensive option to have. Like they had an A team built to compete. And I know it kind of sucks because now only this season, Kobe White's starting to be really good and like looking like he can be a good scoring option, but they've had other scoring options outside of those three on these teams before. So just because now Kobe White's starting to find his stride in this league doesn't mean that teams can now be successful. So, yes, to me, when you looked at the Bulls this this deadline, I thought everyone should have been traded. I'm talking all 3 stars, Caruso, White.
Yep.
You're getting as much capital.
I actually don't think they should have traded Kobe White. I think they should have kind of revolved around Kobe White, especially with Lonzo's uncertainty.
That's true.
But Caruso, think about because we both follow it. Think about the deals that were being built for Caruso. 2 to 3 at least 2 first rounders was thrown out to multiple teams.
I know my team threw out 2 firsts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you made a bidding war and somehow got 3 or 2 and a young guy. Like, you could have got some fucking pieces.
I know. I saw
Caruso, who next year's now going to be on expiring deals.
And the only reason I say Kobe White is because I saw some teams that were throwing in like some nice packages for the two of them.
And the 2 things I remember, they said they were not striving for mediocrity there. The new because everyone wanted those old GMs out. They got the new GMs and they said we're not striving for mediocrity. I mean, what team has been more mediocre than the Bulls in the last 2 seasons?
2 is generous. How about 5?
I was gonna say 2 to 3. Like,
I would say
they were really bad at one point.
The only time I think in the past 5 years we ever saw the Bulls in the positive light is maybe twice.
Yeah.
Once when they kind of assembled this team, and the second when they were winning all those games. And I remember there was points where like Zach LaVine and Kobe White were like some of the highest scoring guards in the league, like as a duo, and they had Vucevic and DeRozan were like some of the highest like assisted in front courts in the league as well. Like they were doing like crazy things. And then there's like 2 points where we talk in the past 5 years where we talked about the Bulls like being really bad right now, and back when they fell from the 1 seed to getting beat in the play-in. So yeah, you got 2 good things in the past 5 years and 2 bad things, and then for the rest of the 5 years no one even talks about you. That's about as mediocre as it gets.
Yeah.
And granted, that's better than some franchises like the Pistons or I don't even want to say the Wizards because they've been pretty good in the past couple of years. But a team like the Pistons, who have not been good since like 2005 or above mediocre.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they had that 1 year where Blake Griffin was good for them.
Yeah, it's true.
And they made the playoffs and stuff.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Giannis hit that crazy like shot where he went like that against Drummond. Yeah, they're in the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but like still, the Bulls have been in the playoffs too. But like play in and one of the reasons I heard they didn't trade him is because of finances and like you sell tickets. But like even when they were bad, I think they were still top 10 in attendance. Because Chicago, Chicago has been before Michael Jordan,
no one cared.
No one cared. Michael Jordan came in. They had Derrick Rose. The culture of basketball in Chicago is really big.
It's huge.
Even when they were bad, they would have fans and people would show out. So it's like, what are we? And especially, I don't know why, but this is just me. But I feel like there would also be a sense of hope when all these Bulls fans see mediocrity, and then you finally have young guys, and maybe you start losing games, but you're like, oh, we're shooting for the future. I kind of want to go see these young guys play, see how Kobe White's going to do, even though he's not like young, but he's been in the league for a couple of years, but like you actually have new guys, maybe new fresh faces and young into the team. So I think they're the biggest loser of the deadline. I think absolute horrible.
Yeah, I mean, the only I just don't understand how they can't do anything at this deadline.
Yeah.
Like you're losing half of those people to free agency this offseason. So
that's horrible.
Like I saw some people saying it's because this upcoming draft's so bad they just want to wait till the next draft. It's like
that's still bad.
You don't have time to wait.
Yeah.
You need to get rid of these guys now. It doesn't matter how bad this upcoming draft class looks. You get your scouts on it. Go find those diamonds.
You can have a bad looking draft, but it doesn't mean those players are just gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Right.
So, although this one apparently is like historically bad,
it looks pretty bad.
It looks very bad, but you still go get the best scouts on it. Go find those guys because the guys you have on your roster are not going to do anything for you. So, they might sell some tickets, but I promise you, if you get rid of them now, ticket sales might be down next year. But think of in like 3 years when you're a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. Once the Bucks have all aged out, the Sixers have all aged out, and the Celtics have all aged out.
The Celtics won't be aged out, but they'll be in the prime too.
Celtics?
Yeah.
In like 5 years?
3 years.
Oh, sorry. I'm talking like 5 years in the future.
Half a decade.
Yeah. So, yeah, looking 5 years in the future, the Bucks are going to be aged out. The Sixers are most likely going to be aged out unless Tyrese Maxey turns into Jesus, but that's probably not happening. Celtics will be aged out. I don't see Porzingis or Holiday being that good in 5 years. Even if Tatum and Brown are still together in 5 years playing really well, they need someone else. But unless the Celtics completely change the way they build their teams, but who knows? So yeah, those are the top three. Or the Knicks will be aged out. Julius Randle's old as hell. Mitchell Robinson's old as hell. Jalen Brunson's relatively young, as is Josh Hart, and a lot of their bench players. But
yeah, 5 years is such a different picture than. I mean, okay. It's 2024, so this is the 2023-2024 season. If you go back to the 2018-2019 season, the league is so much more different, right? The Raptors won the championship in 2019, right?
Yeah.
Think about that core. That core is completely disassembled, right? Think about how the Warriors are now the 10th seed in the West, right? And now we're talking about the Warriors falling off the cliff, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the Warriors facing, the Rockets, right? The Rockets are not there anymore. We talk about all these teams 5 years ago that were insane. They're no longer. I mean, the Bucks were against them, and the Celtics. Who did the Raptors beat in the
semis?
The semis, they beat the Sixers. Who they beat?
The
they beat
Celtics.
They beat the Bucks? I thought
Bucks was in the semis. I thought
y'all weren't the Eastern Conference Finals, were you?
I was talking about the semifinals. The conference finals, I thought were the Bucks.
That was the Bucks.
So the first round was the Celtics then.
Yeah, I think so. But the league is completely the landscape of the league is completely changed.
But what's funny, you go back, you talk about those years. This is what we're talking about is exactly what the Celtics did. They had all this talent that was aging out. They won a championship, which is the difference between them and the Bulls.
But
that was
6 years before that.
Yeah,
2008.
But this was so that this core fizzled out.
2013
they're done.
is when they shipped everyone in, right?
They realized this was over. It's time to look ahead for the future. They got rid of the entire core in one season.
Yeah.
They said, no, we don't care about ticket sales. We don't care about big names. We want to have competitive teams. And granted, the Celtics are one of the most historic franchises in the NBA. So even if their team's bad, they're going to sell tickets. But so is the Bulls.
Yeah,
it's literally Michael Jordan's basketball child. That is one of the cornerstone franchises of the NBA. I promise you can be the worst team in the NBA. You will have people in that building watching your games. But yeah, the Celtics, they sold out their entire team, their aging core for draft capital and draft picks.
Yep.
And they started to rebuild their young team in a time where the Eastern Conference was fading out. And now look at them. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference because all the other teams that were better than them at that time aged out, and all the teams that are not worse than them now are struggling to catch up to them because they have the most complete team.
They just got to do it in the playoffs now.
Yeah. So the Bulls really just need to
the full circle.
Yeah. But the Bulls really need to just take a step back, look at the Celtics and what they did these past couple years, and just copy it. Literally just do that, and you will be the best team in the NBA in 5 years. So, yeah, I don't know how you could say they aren't the biggest trade deadline losers.
They are. They 100% are.
Let's move off of the trade deadline. We've had a lot of big games in the NBA past couple of weeks. I know the Cavs are the hottest team in the league. Hottest. They have won 9 of their last 10 games.
They have.
That one, obviously, being my Sixers who beat them, which was huge for me. But we don't need to talk about that. Let's see. The Celtics, they dismantled the Brooklyn Nets last night. They're also on a big streak. I think they've won 7 of their last 10, if I'm not mistaken.
I can check. They've won 8 of their last 10. They're 8-2.
Yeah, 8 of the last 10.
They're 43-12. They've already locked up a winning record before the All-Star break, which I saw a tweet. It was like, holy shit, how did the Warriors go 73-9? Like, that shit's kind of crazy.
It is.
But yeah, they've already locked up their winning record. 43-12, 41-41. So, I mean, I really they got to do it in the playoffs. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
they got to finish.
They got to hold on to that 1 seed, but they got to do it in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will be the 1 seed. So they should have home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs. You did your job in the regular season, but yeah, gotta finish. They've had multiple chances in years past to do so, and they
have 6 game advantage against the Cavs. They have an 8 game advantage against the Bucks. We're winding down to 20 something games, right? You can lock up the 1 seed with, and I'll be nice, right? The Cavs are a good team, right? But the Cavs are blazing, right? And we don't know how long that's going to blaze for, especially with the All-Star break. Sometimes the All-Star break really hits the gap.
Yeah.
So you could lock up the Eastern Conference with 7, 8 games to go. And you can just play it smart throughout as long as you get no injuries. So,
yeah, that team absolutely has to stay healthy.
Yeah.
They lose one of those 4. I don't want to say they're out of contention, but I might put another team over them.
Impressive as hell.
It is. It is. Unfortunately, Porzingis does have his injury history. So he most of all needs to stay healthy because they lose him. They lose a lot of size, which they need out of him. But we can move over. You know what I mean. We can talk about some of those bottom teams though. The Hornets, like you mentioned, have won 3 straight.
Since the deadline.
So have the Pistons.
They have.
They've won 3 straight. I guess getting rid of Killian Hayes was the move.
Killian Hayes was the disease on that team. He was a locker room cancer.
They're looking good. Unfortunately for you Washington fans out there, your Wizards are not winning 3 straight.
No, the Wizards are not bad.
They suck.
But go ahead, keep going.
What, are you going to tell me about Kyle Kuzma?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, just make sure you're not the worst team in the NBA by this end of the season, because
that'd be embarrassing.
I think they might be, honestly.
Hey, you know what it is? Denny Advija has been going off for them.
I have seen that. Yeah,
he dropped, I think, 43 last night.
Yeah, I have seen that.
I think he's had 4 straight games of 20 plus. Yeah, he's been absolutely balling.
I did see that. Yeah, good for him. Shout out. Has it Denny?
Denny Advija, baby.
Yeah.
God, what giraffe was that? That was 2018.
It was 18.
Yeah.
I think it was 18.
Something like that.
One more Wizards headline before we move on from them. Did you see that? Apparently, a bunch of teams were calling the Wizards on the trade deadline day, asking about Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, I did.
And the Wizards were fully ready to trade him, but they felt out of good faith. Let me go talk to our buddy Kyle, the guy that stuck through us thick and thin through our dog shit franchise that made us somewhat relevant these past couple of seasons, and see where he wants to go. And he said, no, I want to be here. So my thought is,
do you remember where he was going to get dealt to?
Yeah, it was the Mavericks.
The Mavericks.
Yeah, which was I saw that and I said, is he stupid?
Yeah.
Do they someone drug test him? Does he have CTE?
Because the taxes down there compared to Washington, bro.
Bro
would have got more money.
I was about to say, and maybe a championship, but
championship is wild.
Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, and Kyle Kuzma is.
Yeah, they're not running the West.
They could.
They could maybe make the semifinals.
I don't know.
I don't see them in the finals.
After last year, anyone can win the finals.
That is true.
And we can get to that later, because I have seen some interesting conversation about that whole run and this year's trade deadline. But let me finish with the Wizards. Yeah. So Kyle Kuzma said, "No, I want to stay here," which I thought was hilarious, because, like I just said, I think they could compete for a title on the Mavericks, but he wants to stay there, make his money, which good for him, I guess. And he says he wants to be around there to build up this franchise, which, I mean, they're not going to do anything with you. So, I mean, it's good for the NBA to have guys like this.
Yep.
So all credit to Kyle Kuzma for actually thinking about something other than just his personal well-being. Mm-hmm. So kudos to him for that. But hopefully you don't pull a Damian Lillard and stay there forever. So
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, he won't. But yeah, so I saw some teams, or a lot of NBA, or obviously they weren't saying it, but a lot of reporters were saying, after speaking to NBA executives and people close to them during the trade deadline day, is a lot of people were less eager to make moves on trade deadline day in years past because of the Miami Heat's run. They showed that a team that can be a play-in team can make it all the way to the NBA Finals.
If all the pieces click.
That makes them feel like,
soon.
they don't really need to be. They don't need to make the playoffs. They can be a play-in team with the things that they have now, which is why a team like the Hawks, although DeJounte Murray might not be good for them long term, if they can find some rhythm going into the play-in.
There's no fucking rhythm, bro.
Right, but that's the hope, right? Same with I saw another team which I don't think a lot of people expected to make a deal, but the Magic.
Yep.
People thought were gonna do something, but they didn't really want to. Granted, they're a young team, they have draft capital, they can get better in the upcoming years. So they're kind of saying, let's just take a step back and see what this squad can do in the play-in, because we learned from last year, a play-in team with the right momentum and the right scenarios can go to the finals. So. Which I think in this scenario, I think for the Magic is a good thing, because to have that mindset, because they're not overselling right now to maybe screw up something later, just to try and make a push. But for the Hawks, I do think it's a bad thing.
It is a bad thing. We have no rhythm.
But yeah, we can hop off the trade deadline. So we talked about that for a while. I was about to say, what else has been happening out west? We had the Clippers and the Warriors the other night, right?
We did. Mm-hmm.
That was last night, right?
Yes, the Clippers.
And the Warriors won.
Yeah.
Right?
Did they?
Or did they play recently?
They played.
They played.
Yeah, they played, and Klay Thompson fouled down 3. Did they win that game? Nah, I'm tripping.
I can't remember. This was last night?
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to it, though. I was watching the Clemson game.
Yeah, the Clippers won.
Okay, I thought
Curry had 41.
Oh, it was they beat the Suns. That's who I was thinking of.
Okay, yeah,
sorry.
They did.
But yeah, the Warriors. I mean, let's talk about the Warriors then, I guess.
All right, let's talk about the Warriors.
For the Clippers, iffy team, I want to say.
The Warriors?
Yeah.
They're cooked.
I mean, yeah, they're not doing shit
They're done.
in the playoffs.
No, I don't even know if they make out the play-in. They could make out the play-in, but
I think they make the
I think
play-in.
they could be a scary team to face in the playoffs because they're the Warriors.
Yeah, obviously.
But Klay Thompson, what happened to that man?
Should have been traded.
Has no value.
Obviously, I get why he isn't traded.
Has no value.
Well, that and he's like one of their franchise players of all time.
Has
so
no value.
I get that. Ever since Draymond Green came back, they've looked better.
Yep.
They've been more competitive against the stronger teams. Yeah. Steph Curry, Jonathan Kuminga, highest scoring duo in the NBA.
Yeah.
Since February 1st.
Kuminga's been balling, man.
Yeah.
Curry recently. Curry just became the first player in NBA history with 4 straight games of 7+
Yeah.
threes.
So, I mean, they have, like we were just saying, I mean, you get Jonathan Kuminga going, you get Curry going. I mean, really, you don't even need Klay Thompson. You have Jonathan Kuminga playing well, Curry playing well. You have Draymond being the offensive facilitator that he is. And even you just have Kevon Looney just being what he is at that 5.
Yep.
Let's just put in a hypothetical. Say Andrew Wiggins finds his stride before the playoffs. Yeah, you are absolutely right. That is a scary team to play in the playoffs.
But
that is a big if. That is a big.
That's a scary proposal you've thrown out.
But let's not even say that. What if Klay Thompson somehow remembers how to shoot a basketball?
That'd be big. I mean, if he could have that corner 3 or that wing 3 back and open up the floor a little more, big. If Kuminga still play the way he can, good. But that's asking for a lot of efficiency.
Yeah. So like the Heat last year, I just think they find that one piece before, or that missing piece to it all before the playoffs start. I don't want to play them. So I don't think it's time to panic just yet. But it doesn't look too good as of now.
It does not.
But I think they can hold on. But the Clippers, they look good.
They look great.
Yeah, they look really good.
Which I think is against what you said at the start of the year, because you thought they were kind of a flop of a team.
Yeah.
With Harden coming in, which I kind of don't blame you because it was kind of really shitty at the start. But damn,
the growing pains. Yeah. I mean, I thought the only reason I thought it going long term is I thought this team was going to be terrible defensively, which they're not great at. I want to put that out there.
But they can put that fucking ball in the hoop, man.
Yeah, they don't.
Kawhi's shooting has been insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've always talked about how he's kind of an underrated shooter, but I think he's been shooting like damn near 50% from three recently.
Yeah, 'cause I always thought that the defense and the size was just going to be this team's downfall. And obviously they addressed the size issue. Very early on they moved Russell Westbrook to the bench.
Yep.
He put his pride aside and said, "I'll lead the second unit," which
He did, which is great for him.
props for him. Yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely. He's taking that championship mindset to another level.
Yep.
I wish more guys in the NBA would have this mindset, but whatever. So they were able to fix the the size problem. They were able to get more spacing out on the court as well, giving Norman Powell some more minutes. Really stretches the floor with Westbrook because he's not a threat behind the line, although he can make it occasionally. But
he can stroke that thing.
But he is not a threat. But you got PJ Tucker doing absolutely nothing, so every good championship contender needs him on your team. I saw a comment today because there was a post about how they told him to just take some time because he was very frustrated after not being traded at the trade deadline.
He just got fined $75,000.
Oh wow, I did not see that.
For a public trade demand, fined $75,000.
Free that man.
Mm-hmm.
But they told him to take some time off. And the top comment was, PJ Tucker has got to be the only guy in the NBA to still be on a team averaging 0.0 points. Or NBA teams still want a guy averaging 0.0 points.
That's wild. Well, Ryan Archie-Diacono didn't score a point for 26 games straight. And he got the Pistons. So.
I saw that. Well,
the Pistons.
That's the kind of talent the Pistons need. That's what they want. You see their cornerstone franchise player, Killian Hayes. That's the kind of talent they're looking for.
Bro's just on the corner now. He's on the corner store.
Don't be talking bad. Killian Hayes is bringing international fans to the sport.
Yeah, he is.
I know.
Which is funny because like a lot of people didn't know he played international basketball.
I know.
So like when that one fan was like, "I traveled from Germany to see Killian Hayes." He was a big name in Germany, so that's why he got in the NBA.
But don't worry,
back to Germany.
He's going right back home.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch.
You can go see him all the time now.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Before we wrap this episode up, though, everyone's favorite time of the year for NBA fans.
Yeah.
All-Star Weekend.
Nice. Let's talk about All-Star Weekend, and then I have one thing to talk about.
Well, actually, let's hear yours
Okay,
first.
it's quick. That's why I'll do it.
No.
How about Isaiah Stewart?
Oh yeah.
How about Isaiah Stewart, man?
Getting
arrested. Getting arrested for punching Drew Eubanks in the face an hour before the game.
Yeah.
Pistons, man.
Yeah.
The Pistons. And Isaiah Stewart loves fighting people.
They won that game, though, too.
No, they lost that game.
Oh, they did?
By 16. 116 to 100, I think. But, yeah, they lost that game, and Isaiah Stewart got arrested. So
yeah, I saw that.
What a great NBA storyline. Wow. There's one clip I found on Twitter because, everyone knows the LeBron clip where he charges at him. But there was the one clip where he was against the Warriors, and he went up, and I think Draymond grabbed him. And he came down. He was ready to fight. And even Draymond didn't want the smoke. He was like, all right, calm down, man. Calm down.
That's when you know.
Draymond didn't want the smoke.
That's when you know.
Get him and James Johnson in a UFC octagon now.
If I say bro's about to switch sports.
Yeah, facts. But I just want to talk about that real quick because it's kind of a big storyline.
He's out on bail.
Right before I was working, I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, I looked at my phone and I see Isaiah Stewart has punched Drew Eubanks, like,
in the locker room?
In the tunnel, like the tunnel near the locker room. I was like, what the hell? So, yeah. All-Star game.
Sorry, one more thing. I was about to say, because I was saying, how are two players of the other teams, how does that even happen?
Well, you walk past them, like, in the tunnels and shit. I think they're talking shit.
Yeah.
That's my guess. But somebody got footage. Hey, if I'm the guy who has the footage, I'm selling that shit. Yeah, I'm making profit. So, but All-Star game.
Yeah. So we got celebrity game.
Wrapping it up.
Friday night.
Yep.
Is there anything you want to say about the celebrity game?
I don't know if Rachel Demita is in it, but if Rachel Demita is in it, then
you'll be tuning in.
I'll be tuning in.
But
Thabo Cephalosha can watch out.
Watch party?
A little Rachel Demita watch party? Ooh. I really don't watch. I only watch the highlights of it when I see it like on Instagram and stuff.
I'm not
but
watching.
I don't watch the Celebrity All-Star game.
I'm not watching.
You know what? Okay. You know what?
But if any of you out there are want to responsibly put money on this game, Team Stephen A. The team
you can gamble on it?
I think so.
Oh, I'm watching it. Oh, if I can gamble on it, I'm watching on it.
I was about to say.
I will say this though: the one event I know I'll be watching is good for the NBA, good promotion. I really want to see the Sabrina versus Steph thing.
I think a lot of people do.
I really want to see it, not not because I'm like preying on the downfall of one of them, and I'm not preying on the downfall of the WNBA to see like, oh my god, they're so bad. Or the downfall of the NBA to see the WNBA is on equal par or stuff like that, or like even better, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just interested to see it. Like seriously.
Mm-hmm. I know. I am too. But I think it's very strange.
It's a good way to promote the WNBA.
Yes, it is. I think it's a great promotional idea.
Here's what I think's gonna happen.
Yes.
It's a lose-lose for Curry.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lose-lose for Curry.
It 100% is.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose.
Because if he beats her,
it makes the WNBA like horrible, and it makes it look like you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Because you beat a girl, right?
Yeah.
But if he
loses,
then you look trash.
I've already had people tell me if he loses to her, he's like in credit. All those rings, like he got
Doesn't
carried.
mean shit.
Yeah, it's like he got carried to those.
Yeah, facts.
But
wild statement. By the way.
I've heard. Granted, some of them, or at least one of them, is a LeBron fan.
Oh wow!
But I have had people tell me there's no way this guy can be the greatest anything of all time if he loses to her.
Sabrina will be the greatest shooter of all time if she wins.
She will be. I mean, if people call Curry the greatest shooter of all time and she beats him in this contest, sorry, that is the evidence.
Will you tune into the actual All-Star game?
If I don't have money on it, it's Saturday night, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And Clemson plays NC State.
Oh, is it this Saturday night?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll be working.
Yeah, and Lil Jon.
Yeah, I'll be working the game.
So no.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have that.
Oh, wait, wouldn't it be on Sunday night? Okay, so Friday night's celebrity game, right? Saturday would be dunk contest and 3-point.
No.
Is that how it works?
They do I don't know how they do the 3-point anymore, but I know they do the dunk contest at halftime.
What?
That's how it's been the last couple of years.
What? It's on Sunday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I might watch it.
No, you're fucking... They don't do the dunk contest on a halftime.
Maybe that was just the pandemic year. No.
They never do the dunk contest.
They did do that one year.
No
Yeah,
way.
it was the year... Who was in it?
Dunk contest on Saturday.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. So
no, there was 1 year they did it at... I think it's 2, but I know it was 1 that they did it at halftime.
Oh, okay. All-Star 2024 schedule of events in Indy. February 16th, 11:30, Panini
tomorrow.
Rising Stars practice.
Wait.
All right, let me just go to the events, bro. Okay, 7 o'clock, All-Star Celebrity Game, and then 9 p.m. is the Panini Rising Stars.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's always the Friday night select.
Okay, Saturday, we got the HBCU Classic, a news conference, then we got the Skills Challenge, the 3-point contest, the Sabrina contest, and the Slam Dunk contest. Then Sunday, we have the 73rd NBA All-Star Game and the G League Up Next game. Ooh, that'll be interesting.
I was going to say, I thought they did the Rising Stars game Saturday night.
I'm
guessing.
they did that back in the past.
That's what I'm
saying. I don't see it. Let me see.
They might have got...
NBA All-Star. No, I don't see it.
They probably just got rid of it this year.
Maybe it's the Rising Stars.
That is it.
Yeah, that's Friday.
Oh, it's Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, Rising Star. I thought you said Skills Challenge.
Panini Rising Stars is Friday.
Yeah.
Skills,
This
3-point, Sabrina, and Slam Dunk Saturday.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
What year did they do?
I know it was 1 year. I'm trying to remember who was in it. It was
in a way.
It was a bad dunk contest. I'm trying to remember it was the year Anthony Simons won when he kissed the rim kissed the rim.
Yeah,
that was at halftime
that makes sense.
of the game when they wore the yellow and blue jerseys.
Oh yeah, it was okay.
And I swear the year before it was either the year before or after it was too.
That's ass.
But I mean, I'm not agreeing. I agree with you there, but I'm not. I'm just saying that's pretty sure that's what it was. But
that shit is. Hey, that's what I'm doing that again.
Yeah, I mean the Sabrina it's a cool idea. I like the idea, and I get why it's great promotion. But yeah, it is a lose for Curry.
Facts.
I don't know why he signed off. His wife probably made him, if we're being honest. But if this is a big success next year, give us the NBA versus WNBA matchup we want to see.
We want to see Brittany Griner versus DeMarcus Cousins.
Thank you. All right. Past that, we've got the Slam Dunk contest or the Rising Stars Challenges first, right? And this year it is Team Pacers versus Team First Overall Picks versus Team. I don't remember the third one.
It's fucking weird.
I think it's rising stars from like 2019. All I know is it's like Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, someone else. And it's like Anthony Edwards. Yeah, you look them up. I can't remember off rip.
All right. Roster date and how it works. We have Team POW, which has Koulibaly, Jacquez Jr., Brandon Miller.
These are this is the rising stars.
We have this is the rising stars.
I'm still thinking skill challenge. I'm so
you're
stupid.
doing the skill challenge?
I was thinking of the skill challenge, but you can discuss the rising
Detlef,
stars.
Jalen, Tamika.
Yeah, those are the
Powell.
coaches.
Oh, because they have the semifinals and the final.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And then we have. You're thinking of the skills challenge?
I was thinking of the skills challenge. Sorry.
I thought it was just between the
There's 3 teams. There's 9 people.
3 teams. Oh, there is. There's Team Pacers. Yep. Team Top Picks and Team All Stars.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Word. Low key, give me Team All Stars.
Yeah, it's in the name.
That's it. That is a
That's the
All Star festivities.
No, I mean it's not it, but
I will be rewatching the dunk contest if I cannot watch it.
But yeah, I think it's kind of. I mean, skills challenge. It's just whoever cares the most. I think.
Yeah,
really.
facts.
So we'll see who wins that. But
not if Jaylen Brown has to deal with his left hand.
Oh God, his weakness. Well, don't worry. Isn't he in the dunk contest this year?
I think so. Yeah.
So hopefully there's no left-handed. Could you imagine for like the finals if it's just like whoever he's going up against just does like some crazy like between the leg like reverse windmill and all he does is just like a left-handed one-hand dunk and he wins.
A rim grazer.
Yeah, not even that, just like a tap in, and he just wins. That
would be worth it.
That would be worth it. That would be hilarious. But first we've got the 3-point contest. Contestants this year. I only know one of them because I don't really pay attention to this contestants until they get up there and shoot. But
Dame's winning it.
I know. Yeah, I know Dame's in it.
I think Jalen Brunson's in it.
Yeah, he is.
I think Lauri Markkanen's in it.
Yeah, because they got to get a big guy in there.
Yeah.
At least is Cat in it too?
I don't think Cat's in it. We will once again check.
Yeah.
Check.
So we don't sound like
idiots.
idiots.
Don't get it wrong. Yep. The Starry 3-point contest has Malik Beasley. Oh, it does have Cat.
Yeah.
Beasley, Brunson, Halliburton, Lillard, Markkanen, Mitchell, Towns, Trey. Trey's not fucking winning. Trey's not even going past the second round. He's not even making the final.
Isn't one of them injured?
Who's injured?
I don't know because I saw something saying Tyrese Maxey was also going to be in there.
Cap.
No, maybe.
That's it, bro.
Maybe that was just a lie.
Maybe a line on our heads.
They are. And then
low key, give me Dame, bro. Dame's gonna win that shit.
Give me Markkanen.
My word.
And then we have everyone's favorite event of the All-Star break.
What is it? All-Star game?
No.
Sabrina?
No, the dunk contest.
Oh, I thought we already mentioned Jaylen Brown, so Mac McClung's back in it, right?
Yeah, he is. We
There
got
you go.
Mac McClung, Jaylen Brown.
Let's see if you can name all 4.
I know the other 2 are irrelevant.
Let's see you can name all 4. Come on, they're not irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't know the other 2.
That's crazy.
I can't remember.
They're all really good.
Are they?
Yeah. Jamie Jacquez Jr., Mac McClung,
someone
Obi Toppin's brother, and Jaylen Brown.
Obi Toppin's brother?
Yeah, Jacob Toppin.
Oh. Why not Obi Toppin?
I don't know.
He's better.
Yeah, Jacob Toppin's on the G League too.
Oh, so that's the G League invite this year?
I mean, there's also Mac McClung.
Is he not on the Magic?
No.
Oh.
He's in the G League.
I thought they signed him.
They did, and he's on the G League team.
Bummer.
He's on the Osceola Magic.
Okay.
Jacob Toppin, Knicks. See? There we go.
Oh.
He's actually on the Knicks.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with my GOAT.
Mac McClung?
To win it.
Give me Obi Toppin's brother.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I got a vibe pick.
You got the
Give
script?
me Jacob. I didn't get the script. I got the fucking answer.
Well, I got the answer, and it's a Jaylen Brown left-hand dunk. So now we can wrap it up with the All-Star break. We have the All-Star game.
Yep.
We have, what is it, Team LeBron versus Team Giannis again?
Yeah,
it's Team East.
Give me Team fucking LeBron, bro. It's Team East versus West, I thought.
It is.
Yeah, give me a West because LeBron's on it.
Yeah, probably. Unless, I don't know. Who's going to actually try this year, though? Who's winning the MVP? Who's trying?
Jalen Brunson will not try. I'll tell you that. Trae Young will not even play 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes only gonna get off the bench. Who would actually try? Anthony Davis is winning it.
Okay. You have heard it here first, folks.
He's gonna catch so many lobs.
Anthony Davis is going to be your 2024 All-Star MVP.
He'll be the only person that plays defense.
Probably. But I think we'll wrap it up there for this episode.
We will.
This episode of Nothing Agreed NBA. Yeah. We'll be back at it and probably next week.
Yep.
Another episode. We'll recap the All-Star game.
We'll All-Star game and kind of go into storylines because we'll get in there. There'll be still a little break.
Yeah. So any big events happen at the All-Star game? Tune back in.
Covered, and we'll also talk about the slam dunk contest because I want to talk about that a lot. So
yeah,
it was good.
We'll see. We'll see if it was creative this year.
Yeah, or just boring.
Or just boring.
Yep.
But I promise you, my GOAT will win.
That'll be another episode of Nothing Agreed. Thank y'all for tuning in so much. From Barron and myself, NBA podcast done. We'll see y'all next week with another one, and peace.